I truly believe with every fiber of my being that if Americans, really everybody, understood the actual benefits of what ICE is doing, what this America First agenda is doing, deporting these illegal criminal aliens, I think this wouldn't even be an issue. And so this video is really going to be strictly educational. Anybody who's ever doubted you, everybody who's ever said this is awful, all the lies that have been spewed by Karen Bass and Newscomb and all the rest of the Crockett's, et cetera, the Mamdani saying that they're picking up people off the street. This is the definitive video that you can share with them. I'm going to go through step by step. I've done my due diligence. I've broken this down. I'm going to go to the trusty outline, qualitative, quantitative research. By the way, if you want a copy, I always give away my research notes for free. If you want a copy of my research notes, I'll let you know how you can get them at the end. So stick around for that. Before we jump into the outline, though, I just want to share with you this quick breaking news. ICE just detained and arrested an MS-13 kingpin who is wanted for 5 murders. Watch this.
Suspect's name, Melvin Varela Perez. He's been wanted for 5 murders and is considered a high-ranking member of the gang. But even though he's been on El Salvador's 100 most wanted list since 2016, he crossed the border and was released into the U.S. under the Biden administration.
Perez was arrested alongside an associate named Rene Escobar Ochoa, who had a red notice from Interpol out on him when he came across the border. The Department of Homeland Security reacting in a statement saying, quote, "The Biden administration allowed 2 ringleaders of MS-13, one of the most violent gangs in the world, come straight into our country. One of these depraved aliens is on El Salvador's 100 most wanted fugitives list and is wanted for 5 counts of murder. The other has an Interpol notice for drug trafficking. These are the kinds of scumbags sanctuary politicians are protecting and letting walk free on America's streets."
This guy murdered people. This guy has sown chaos, destroyed lives, not just the people that he took, the families. These are the people that the Democrats defend. These are the people that you have Padilla storming into Secretary Noem's press conference, fighting tooth and nail. These are the kinds of people. Kilmar Obrega Garcia, this guy trafficked fentanyl, as well as he beat his wife. These are the kinds of people. They fly on our taxpayer dime to other countries to save them. Ayanna Pressley and MacIver attacking ICE agents at facilities, storming in like belligerent thugs. It makes no sense. And they have the lowest approval rating, not only in the history of their party, but in the history of politics. Make it make sense. How can you defend this? Well, the narrative is that they're picking up anybody that doesn't look white. The narrative is they're in unmasked vehicles. They're masking their faces, which they're only trying to protect themselves and their families because the attacks have risen by over 700%. I've talked about this, but that's neither here nor there. I could rail about this for hours. I want to jump into the handy outline and go step by step how what ICE is doing is going to benefit us in a myriad of amazing, wonderful ways. Check this out. One of the first most powerful benefits is enhancing economic prosperity for American workers, boosting wages and job opportunities. Detaining and deporting illegal immigrants reduces competition in low-skilled labor markets, leading to higher wages for American citizens and legal residents. For instance, in sectors like construction and agriculture, where undocumented workers often fill roles, enforcement actions have historically increased average hourly rates by 5 to 10% for native-born workers in affected areas, as seen during targeted ICE operations back even in the early 2000s. Remember, I've shown clip after clip after clip of Clinton, Obama, Biden, when they had their senses all saying, we cannot have illegals here. We need a strong border. We need to deport. Obama's deported millions and millions. Nobody brings that up. Clinton's deported millions and millions. Nobody brings that up. Biden's deported millions and millions. Well, not as much as the other two, and he actually let a lot more in, but still, nobody says anything. And before you say, Nez, these agriculture jobs and these low-wage, low-skilled labor markets, nobody wants these jobs. These are the only kind of jobs that can be filled by these guys. That is not true. That is 1,000,000,000% untrue. There are homeless veterans out there who are dying for a job. and a whole lot more Americans out there. That is unequivocally untrue. A recent analysis shows that with over 2 million jobs added for American workers and a drop in foreign-born employment, wages for blue-collar roles have hit a 15-year high due to reduced illegal labor exploitation. This is really important too. Reducing strain on taxpayer-funded programs. This is insane. Illegal immigrants access certain public benefits costing billions annually in welfare, food stamps, and housing assistance, while normal, hardworking, tax-paying, legal-born American residents and citizens get nothing. They have to pay for it themselves. Deportations alleviate this burden, potentially saving taxpayers up to $100 billion. That's with a B, billion, yearly by redirecting funds to citizens. For example, states like California, my poor home state, it's being run into the ground by these heathens. For example, states like California have reported lower Medicaid expenditures following increased ICE removals of non-citizens ineligible for such programs. This also curbs fraud, as seen in cases where undocumented individuals use ITNs to claim child tax credits, diverting resources from American families. Stimulating local economies through fair competition. By removing undocumented workers who undercut wages, businesses are incentivized to hire legal workers with better pay and benefits, fostering economic growth. Most people who are here illegally, especially in California, but it's all across the nation, they make all their money tax-free. They don't pay a cent of taxes. And what they do is, instead of boosting local economies and communities and state economies, which in turn has impact on the national economy, they send it all back home to the country where supposedly they don't want to live. Make it make sense. Concrete examples include post-deportation booms in Georgia's agriculture sector after 2011 raids where native employment rose 20% and local spending increased as wages stabilized. I highlighted this because this is astronomical and it's huge. Overall, enforcing immigration laws has led to 139,000 new private sector jobs for native-born workers in recent months, reversing years of suppressed growth. This is the video, y'all. You need to share this with everybody who ever dares to comment negatively about what's happening. Bolstering national security and public safety, removing criminal elements in gangs. ICE prioritizes deporting violent offenders such as MS-13 gang members like the one I just showed you, reducing crime rates in communities. For example, since 2025, over almost 500,000 criminal aliens with felony convictions, and we haven't even started. Biden and Kamala, the so-called border czar. I mean, the biggest joke on humanity yet, that Kamala was the border czar, and we had the worst border crisis in the history of our country, in the history of any country for that matter. There's millions more, but 500,000 with felony convictions or gang ties have been removed. God bless you, ICE. God bless you, President Trump. Leading to a nosedive in murder rates and safer streets in, I hate to say it, sanctuary cities. I hate using that word because it is so treasonous. It's an act of sedition to claim your city as a sanctuary. A sanctuary for what? For criminals? Oh, it gets me so mad. Where enforcement has collapsed cartel networks. The highlighted portion is really important. This targeted approach has saved potential victims, with 92% of recent deportees linked to violent crimes. Think Patty Marin's daughter, Rachel Marin. Think Jocelyn Nungray, just to name a few. Let me paint a picture. Your child mortally expired by these criminal gang members let in by the people who are supposed to protect you. You never will have a Christmas that will ever ring of warmth ever again. New Year's gone, birthday's gone, every holiday gone. As a parent, this drains the blood right out of my heart and makes me so upset, so cold, and just deeply saddened more than anything. I can't even imagine. This is why I'm fighting so hard. This is why this channel is all about making common sense go viral. Think of these families. At the very least, how can you defend these people being in our country? Think of American citizens. Remember that press conference by Patty Marin, directly facing the hypocrite media propagandist woke media saying, look, you need to tell the truth. Oh, it breaks my heart. Deterring future illegal entries and trafficking. Strict enforcement, including the Remain in Mexico policy, has slashed illegal crossings by 70 to 78%. It's more than that now. Disrupting human and drug trafficking operations that fuel overdoses and violence. A real world impact is the 89% drop. Wow. In fraudulent asylum claims, preventing criminals from exploiting loopholes and entering U.S. communities. That alone, every one of these points alone warrants our unceasing support of ICE and these law enforcement officials simply carrying out their duties. And who are they carrying out their duties from? Where are their orders coming from? From the president. And who does the president represent? Us. We put him there. So by defying and non-compliance, Karen Bass, this heathen, this mook, Karen Bass, this DEI hire, who was appointed by Obama, who's actually really a communist. I'm not going to go there, but you can look it up yourself. I've done all the research. She's a full-blown... You think Mamdani came out of nowhere? It's not true. Mamdani is the fruit of their labor. It drives me crazy. Protecting law enforcement and communities, policies like the Police Act of 2025 enable swift removal of offenders who target police, enhancing officer safety and public trust. As Aristotle said, I taught principles of rhetoric for over 30 years. As Aristotle said, you don't have a society if you don't have law and order. Period. That's it. And these poor guys have been vilified, demonized for years by the Biden, Obama, Holly weirdo cabal. They've been demonized. BLM is a terrorist organization. They haven't given a cent of the billions they've accrued to go back into any of the communities they purport to save. It's a crime. In swing states, 74% of voters support deporting criminal aliens, reflecting broad recognition that the voters support this, as evidenced by reduced violent incidents in areas with aggressive ICE raids. Preserving public resources and essential services. This is huge. Easing overburdened healthcare systems, improving education access and quality, lowering housing costs, and infrastructure strain. Deportations reduce uncompensated emergency room visits by undocumented immigrants, which cost hospitals billions. For young Americans, this means shorter wait times, lower insurance premiums. For instance, jammed ERs in border states have seen a 20 to 30% faster service post-enforcement, freeing up resources for citizens. Schools overcrowded by children with illegal immigrants strain budgets, lower standards. We have the worst. As a professor, as somebody who has kids entering into junior high and high school, it breaks my heart to see what our kids go through, even in nice, affluent areas. You've got schools and classrooms that have 30, 35. Teachers can't handle this load. They're not getting paid enough. I, as a professor who used to work at some of the prestigious universities in California, I couldn't even handle it when our enrollments were high. Moving such families has led to better teacher-to-student ratios and higher test scores in districts like those in Texas, where deportations correlated with a 15% drop in enrollment pressures and redirected funding to U.S.-born citizens and students. With fewer people competing for limited housing, rents become more affordable, benefiting working-class families. Examples include post-deportation declines in housing prices in California cities, where affordability improved by 10 to 15% as demand normalized, alongside reduced traffic and pollution from fewer vehicles. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there are a ton of videos going viral of Los Angelinos saying, I can't believe how clean the streets are. I can't believe how clear traffic is. I used to live in LA 20 years ago. I'll never go back. Never. I said it that Caruso was LA's last hope. As soon as Karen Bass won, I knew that was the end of LA, and I've been proven right. In spades. But I remember even back in 2004, 2003, when I lived there, traffic was a nightmare. Just going to get simple things like some more toilet paper took an hour. There are viral videos everywhere. Since ICE has implemented this order from President Trump, from the American people to deport and detain, there has been a significant reduction. You can now drive down the freeways of Los Angeles, and your 60-minute commute now is reduced to like 20 to 15 minutes. It's beautiful. Upholding the rule of law and social cohesion, reinforcing legal immigration pathways. Deportations deter illegal entries, ensuring fairness for those who follow the process. How many times have I said this? Respect the legal immigrants. My parents are legal immigrants. They worked their butt off. They contributed to society. It took them 13 years of living, working their butts off to earn their citizenship. They need to earn their citizenship. Kamala and Biden just gave them a red carpet. This builds trust in the system as seen in reduced backlogs after enforcement surges where legal applicants face shorter waits due to fewer fraudulent claims. Promoting national sovereignty and deterrence. By enforcing borders, ICE prevents exploitation by cartels and restores public confidence in government. Historical precedents such as Operation Wetback in the 1950s show that mass removals led to sustained drops in illegal immigration, fostering a society where laws are respected and chaos is minimized. Fostering community trust and integration, removing lawbreakers reduces fear and distrust, allowing legal immigrants and citizens to engage more fully in mixed status areas. Deportations have decreased tensions with examples like improved community police relations in Florida after removing undocumented fraudsters. And last but not least, improving overall quality of life for Americans. Enhancing environmental and urban sustainability. Fewer illegal residents mean less strain on resources, leading to reduced pollution and traffic. Cities like Phoenix have reported 10 to 15% lower congestion and emissions following deportation waves, creating cleaner, more livable environments. Los Angeles is another huge example. Elevating standards of living through resource reallocation, saving from deportation estimated at trillions with a T over decades, can fund infrastructure, education, healthcare for people who actually deserve it. The people who actually pay into the system, the silent majority, the hundreds of millions of Americans who work their asses off every day and never look for a handout and have done everything the legal way through ports of entry, through the right, correct, proper systems and processes. For example, redirecting $45 billion in ICE funding has supported job creation, wage hikes, directly improving daily life for millions of working Americans. Securing long-term societal stability by addressing these root causes of inequality, such as wage suppression and resource drain. Deportations promote a more equitable society. Young Americans, you guys, young people, share this with your nephew, your niece, your grandson, your grandchild. Young Americans benefit most with easier access to jobs, schools, housing, as highlighted in analyses showing comprehensive improvements in affordability and safety metrics. I'm sure there's a ton of other benefits too. If there's something that I missed, let me know in the comments down below. We love you. God bless you, ICE. God bless you, law enforcement, putting your lives, jeopardizing your family's lives, putting everything on the line to help America, to serve America. The people who have done everything right, paid their taxes, done everything abiding by law. You're helping Americans. We love you. We support you 1 billion%. If you are a law enforcement officer or an ICE officer, please leave a comment down below. Let me know. I want to respond to you. I want to say a personal thank you to each and every one of you. How can you demonize these guys? Shame on all the hypocrites. Shame on anybody who vilifies these hard-working law enforcement officials who, again, are simply carrying out orders. Please know that we are all with you. I can't wait to get your thoughts on all of this. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please tap that thumbs up if you love America. As a matter of fact, let's do something different. If you support law enforcement, just tap that thumbs up. It doesn't cost you a thing. Do it right now. Just tap it. You can even do it on your remote if you're watching this from TV. As I said before, if you want a copy of my notes, I will leave a link in the pinned comment and in the description. Go ahead and click that and get the free copy of all of these research notes. You can do that right now. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you. May God bless ICE and law enforcement. And may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.